feast. That's why you can see the Turkish flags. Tomorrow is a national feast in Turkey. In Turkish, we call Meryem Ana, like Mother Mary, Mother Miriam. It's a holy place for the Muslims because there are lots of pages. When St. John died here, he was almost like 97 years old. A miracle for today, it's a really big miracle for those days. You know that they don't live that long, 35, 45 maximum. So he's the only one that died naturally. After the Assumption of the Virgin Mary, St. John was exiled by the Emperor Domitian to live in the Greek island of Patmos, which is 4 hours of sailing from Kushadasa, where we have our cruise, to west. He wrote the book of the Revelations. Later he returned back to Asia Minor, here where we are. He died in this town when he was almost like 100 years old. Another important evidence to consider this house like the last home of the Blessed Mary, they had founded the ruins of the first church dedicated to Virgin Mary, where they held the Ecumenic Council in 431. In that council, they considered Virgin Mary as the Mother of the God. In those days, if the personality didn't live in that place, they cannot dedicate a chapel, church to her or his name. So this is one of the biggest evidence to say that yes, she lived here and they dedicated the first church to her name here in Ephesus. It's also interesting the discovery of the house with the help of the local people and with the help of the German nun Anna Katharina Emmerich. She was very famous with her visions, and this wasn't the first vision that came true. People pay attention to her visions because she had stigma in her hands like Jesus had. And in most of her visions, she saw a small house entering the sands, and Virgin Mary was always staying at home. She had never been here, but she described the place of the house so perfectly. According to her description, with the help of the local people, they discovered the house in 1891. According to archaeologists also, the foundation of the house is from the 1st century, restored in the 4th century, but the last restoration was done in 1951. Dear guests, when we arrive to home, you're gonna see it's pretty small. To go inside and outside is only 2 minutes, but I'm gonna give you 40 minutes of free time for the ones who wants to stay for a while in this house. In this free time, I'm gonna show you the restrooms. Before you return back to bus, please use the restrooms, because after here we will continue to Ephesus. We will be in Ephesus not less than 1.5 hours. It will be much more comfortable for you to use the restrooms here. And in this free time, I will gonna show you the only official store where you can get the blessed.
Was rebuilt or?
Yes.
Can we move up through those?
Not really.
No, fine, no. You know me.
So any questions still here? Enjoy the visit.
Can we move up? When you get near the door, it's
You had the new
That's like,
This is wide angles.
that's kind of like straight.
I don't know where the fire jump is, wasn't it 7 there?
That's like,
It'll work because it's wide angles.
that's kind of like strange.
I don't know where the fire jump is, wasn't it 78?
You've been very helpful.
Yeah, that's why I took the steps last time. Because the rap did seem sweet. Look at this tree.
There you go. Spring.
It's spring.
Yeah, that's why I took the steps last time. Because the rap did seem sweet. Look at this tree.
There you go. Spring.
It's spring.
Also nicht wie in manchen Reiseführern steht ein Taufbecken, sondern eine Regenzisterne. Also nicht wie in manchen Reiseführern steht ein Taufbecken, sondern eine Regenzisterne.
Of the bull to be the goddess of the abundance, fertility. In the place of stomach, she has lots of reliefs of the animals because she was the goddess of the hunt and the hunters. At the meantime, she was the goddess of the pregnant ladies. They couldn't understand why the temple, she wasn't in the temple to protect the temple against the fire. 20 years later, they understood that she went to help to a pregnant lady because of being the goddess of the pregnant ladies. At the same day when the temple was burned, born Alexander the Great. When Alexander the Great just conquered this land, he heard the legend about his birth. He wanted to help financially to the construction of the temple, but insisted a lot to place his statue in the temple of the goddess. Ephesians had the honor to build a temple for the goddess of the city, but they don't want to behave rudely to Alexander the Great. And they said him that, how? With cement, first century BC, that's the state altar. That means where they place the statue. For example, these are the last poppies of the season, and you can obtain directly a nice purple color from the poppies. I can do this easily on marble because this is not an organic material that can absorb the dye like hair, like wool. But these are long-lasting, the vegetal dyes. That's why today we're told we were going to talk about vegetal dyes in Nigeria.
Always. And what size of
I just can't see the bottom of this. Oh, there is. Skąd ta woda leciała?
There's 15,000 of Jewish living all together. Under the third column on the stairs, there's a small iron bar. Inside of that iron bar, if you go up the stairs, you're going to see a small menorah carved by the Jewish people. Clever, they put the menorah on the stairs, which they cannot step that much, because after that there's a column. This is the way how we keep it since the 2nd century. Then St. Paul came and we...
To był Mark. from a visit.
General election. So that gender gap.
On the way to Istanbul,
Comes in a general election.
Thursday, 19th of May, we're approaching Istanbul. On the left-hand side, two naval ships exporting Royal Princess towards the port of Istanbul. You can see the Istanbul in the far distance, I think. See if I can zoom it in a bit. Hippodrome, where the chariot racing.
पाव भाजी है तो और चाहिए हमारे से पहले टाइम
Thank you.